2024 is going to be a really interesting year for e-commerce businesses. In this video, I want to highlight something that happened in 2023 with this e-commerce brand that broke records by doing $16 billion in its first year. And we're going to talk about basically how they did it and what things we can learn from it that we can apply in 2024 to our businesses, or what things we can just learn in general if you just like learning. So let's get right into it. Let me show you some stuff here first. So if you go on Twitter, which I have already done for you, and look up Teemu Sales, this is who we're talking about today. We're talking about Teemu, and we're spinning the wheel right now, and we're getting a $100 coupon. Sick. I don't want it though. Thank you, Teemu. But you know, that's this is how they're winning, right? This is how they're hooking people in. Now, here's the crazy thing. They've reported that they did $16 billion in sales in their first year of business. Now, this is something everybody's talking about. There's a lot of different news here. For example, this guy's saying everyone is talking about Teemu's insane sales report, but they're forgetting a couple of things. One, their sales figures are fictitious and nothing but CCP propaganda. They're a digital flea market and pose no threat to Amazon. Their customer service is a joke. Their name blows. I mean, some of these things are obviously a little bit exaggerated, and whether or not it's entirely true, their numbers, there's still a lot that we can learn from it. I mean, sure, maybe they're not at 16 billion, but look at this traffic. This is going crazy to the moon. And yes, they're probably super unprofitable doing this. And yes, I agree. It may not pose a serious threat to Amazon, but it's definitely causing some ripples in the sea of e-commerce. I think that's undeniable. And I still think, regardless of whether or not you see Teemu as a legitimate threat, I still think there's a lot we can learn from it. So a lot of the people watching this right now are probably either drop shippers, e-commerce entrepreneurs, maybe investors, business people in general. I mean, I don't know. Let me know below. What kind of business do you run, or do you even have a business, or who are you, right? Introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you in the comments. But there's so much that we can learn here, because one of the things that I think is making Teemu so successful, which goes totally against what a lot of people have talked about in the last few years in the e-commerce space, is their pricing. They have incredibly good pricing. And, you know, people these days will tell you that if you have a very low margin, you're not going to be able to make paid advertising work. And while that's been traditionally true, it's not entirely true. And it's not true in every instance. Though I will say it's probably true for Teemu. Like, you know, some of these products, these guys are spending a ridiculous amount of money on meta ads. In fact, if we look at the ad library and we just look up Teemu, we see 40,000 different ad results, which is crazy. So, you know, they're literally running everything as an ad, probably spending $1 to $10 million a day on advertising. And it's pretty insane, right? Like, this is insane how much growth you can drive with just the power of paid advertising. But that's where this guy over here, whoever this guy was, he's partly right. You know, the numbers are definitely inflated. Now, does that mean that they are not a threat to e-commerce in general? Sort of. I mean, I definitely don't think this is going to change too much personally. I don't think this is going to, you know, just stop people from shopping online. I think if anything, it's only going to introduce more people to online shopping. Because that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. E-commerce penetration is still like 30%, maybe. It's probably under 30% in terms of total sales. And guess what? The world is becoming increasingly more digital. So I definitely think we got a lot of room to grow here. I think we can at least double in e-commerce sales in the next like 10, 20 years. So I think if anything, this is kind of accelerating that growth, because when you see prices like this, it definitely makes you want to buy. Especially in days like right now where the economy is kind of in a weird state. Like, it looks good, but prices are super high. Inflation is crazy. People are, you know, defaulting on their debt. Everybody has debt. All these things obviously are amounting to some strange financial times. So yeah, when you can offer people a really good deal, guess what? People are really going to like that. So that's the thing that I really want to kind of emphasize. Something I'm thinking about a lot about is that, you know, when everybody's saying, hey, increase your prices, increase your margins, you know, make more money through that, I'm starting to think, what if you could just think differently, maybe think outside the box in order to be able to offer really low prices with like a really good quality and still be able to make that feasible from a marketing perspective. And I think the best way that you can achieve something like that is through TikTok and short form content. So I think that's something I'm going to be testing out this year, is actually just going the affordable route, going like really low price products, slim margins potentially, but trying to maximize the reach of the brand organically as much as possible and use paid to amplify things so that I don't necessarily need to be getting like a $5 cost per purchase on Meta to be profitable, you know? These are a little bit more advanced things that I'm thinking about, but I think Teemu is super cool, to be honest. I think I want to buy a few things on here just to test it out. I have bought things on it before when they first launched, but I want to see if they've improved in any way. And they have some really interesting products that I think you can get a lot of ideas from for potentially selling things on TikTok or selling things on Shopify. And I think they have a lot of really good incentives to push people to buy. It's crazy that they say up to 90% off. I don't know how they pull that off. Like, they have things that are literally under 25 cents, which is just crazy, right? I don't get how that works. They're definitely losing a ton of money doing this, but they're acquiring a large market share. But I think somebody said it best over here somewhere. I don't know who, but I saw it on Twitter somewhere that Teemu, unfortunately, they're spending all this money to acquire customers, but the reality is that most people will not continue to shop here if their customer experience is bad. And that's where Amazon thrives, is that they're consistent, right? Yes, there's terrible quality stuff on Amazon too, but at least you get it fast most of the time. Whereas on Teemu, you may get a shady quality, and it may take a week to get there, which a week isn't that long, but compared to Amazon Prime, I mean, obviously it's pretty long. So I'm not sure if I also don't think it's a huge threat to Amazon. I don't think it's a huge threat to e-commerce. I think it's only gonna, again, since they're spending so much money on ads, they're only educating the market even more on buying things online. So I think it's gonna benefit everybody. That's the kind of mindset I have about it. So I'm excited to see how they continue to go about it. I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting to watch. And you know that I'll be here to study it and report on it because I find this stuff pretty interesting. And let me know what you think. What do you think of Teemu? What do you think of the dropshipping landscape, of e-commerce in general, in paid media, organic? Just let me know all your thoughts in the comments. It will also give me more ideas on videos to make. But I thought this one was good because, these numbers just recently came out, and whether they're true or not, they're still pretty amazing. And it is really interesting to see Teemu popping off. So yeah, that's about it. There's like a car chase going on outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds intense. So I'm going to go watch a little bit. But yeah, that's all I got. See you in the next video. Peace.